Hello and welcome to. You know what? No, you're not welcome anymore. You know what? This is like the 10th episode now, and like, I'm still giving you warm greetings. Like, no, I bet you've like taken these greetings for granted. But you know, no, it's been 10 episodes, and I just say no. So no greeting for you. But anyway. As you can see, we can't get into the hot springs, but there's a little hole there. And, well, nothing we can do can get in there. But luckily, it's time to get our first magic power in, as I like to call it, Zeisentown. That's probably not how it's pronounced, but it's the coolest way that you can... It's the coolest way I could think of. I mean, Zeizen, Zeizen just sounds the best. But anyway, I hate these whole scenes where you have to wait for the dragon to fly into the town you want to go to. But right now, we're on our way to get our first magic power, and it's going to allow us to shrink down and get inside that hole. So we have to figure out how to get this power. And rumor has it that Mr. Ushiwaka has suddenly become a dwarf. Yep, a much smaller Ushiwaka. So let's go pay him a visit and find out how he did it. Yep, he's definitely smaller. Why don't we get him to go into the hot springs for us? Instead of sitting around telling people to go fishing for him in exchange for information. And giving people logs to throw at Benki. The Golden Temple. And then he just runs away. Well... Remember one of those doors we didn't go through in Zeisentown earlier? Well, one of them is the Golden Temple, and so now we're gonna go there and get our first magic power, the Shrink ability. Up the ladder and back into the main part of Zeisentown. The Golden Temple? No, not this one. We'll be there in like the very end of the game. Golden Temple. Alright, here we go. Alright, so for every single magic power we're gonna get in the entire game, you have to go through like a mini game to get it. It's kind of like a training session. Pretty cool. It's a little different than just like magically obtaining some new strange power. Like in a lot of video games. And you'll notice only one specific person can take the test and gain a magic power. So only Ebisumaru can get the Shrink ability. So he's finally going to be useful. Basically the object of this minigame is to get those falling food things. Cakes, I guess? I don't really know. I'm just going to call them cakes for the sake of simplicity, but you have to collect a certain amount of them. I'm not sure how many without getting spotted by that guy. And you also have 3 hearts, and you'll lose one every time you get hit by a ballerina. And if you run out of all 3, run out of time, or that guy sees you, you lose and you gotta start all over. Yep, see, I just lost a heart. But I think it's 10. So, if that's the case, I'm doing pretty well. I shouldn't have any trouble with this. I should beat it on the first try. But, yeah, it's not a very hard minigame. It gave me a little trouble when I was a kid, but it's because when I was a kid, I was a retard. Yep. Oh, it's 8. Okay. Kind of a strange number, but I guess if I was paying attention to the dialogue, I'd know it was 8. They probably told me. But anyway, the mini Ibisu power is now mine. So, what button was it? Yeah, it's the up C button that lets you use your magic powers, and only Ebisumaru can use this one. You can go through small holes, and you can walk like along narrow roads and stuff. Yeah, but anyway, with this we can pass through that little gap we saw next to the hot springs that we couldn't get into before. So let's get down to it. Why am I? There we go. Alright, and showing you the shrink power in action. So if you can see, why am I pointing at the screen? You can't see that. Right below Ebisumaru is the magic thing. You should have seen it. You don't need me to point at the screen, and you don't need my greetings either. But anyway, with Yay, we can get back there in no time and put our powers to good use. So let's go to EO's coffee shop. Now, if I hadn't entered that coffee shop before, I think it was like at the very end of the last episode, I wouldn't have been able to warp there, because you can only warp to like coffee shops or dungeons and towns. Coffee shops, dungeons, and towns, and that's it. So, had I not entered that coffee shop, I would have probably had to start back at Fully Poke Village. But anyway, let's shrink, and they can't touch me. Ah, stupid dog. He's just spazzing out over my head, but he can't get me. At this point, we have successfully infiltrated the shrine. Not the shrine, the springs. EO Hot Springs, IO, I don't care. These guys shoot fire at us, they're not very scary. And thanks to our new shrink power, well, I don't know, I'm kind of torn which way should I go. I'm gonna go under here and use my shrink power. Get under here. I'm pretty sure we can pick up a fortune doll on the way. That's in that cage, so I think we have to fall down from somewhere, and then we can get the fortune doll in the cage. But anyway, right now we are very close to the second dungeon. It's definitely, no, not, I don't know, it's probably the longest dungeon in the game, but by no means the hardest. I just want to start the second dungeon, because then the third dungeon and the fourth dungeon are going to go by so quickly. And then the fifth dungeon, of course, won't take too long, and it'll be over. And some serious fail right now with the pipe chain, because I need to grow a pair of balls and just jump over and then hook. Come on. Yep. I'm telling you, it's some kind of childhood traumatic experience. It makes me not want to jump and then shoot my thing out. My pipe chain. And as you can see, right up these steps, too bad I have to fall down, but right up these steps is the next dungeon. See that door right there? We'll get there in a minute. Behold, a silver fortune doll. Now we can make our way to the dungeon. So let's do that. But I'm not sure. Oh, I really want to do this by the end of the episode. So, Alright, since you already saw like the climb up, I'm just gonna double the speed of this part, just so I can show you like the name of the dungeon and just like get there to that door, because I just really want to. I mean, you've seen me do this. I just had to jump off to get that fortune doll. Anyway, we're here at Ghost Toys Castle. See you next time in part 11.